After a short walk from the Hibernian Hotel where we stayed in Cork, we made it to the English market right as it was opening. And I mean right as it opened. Everything was still closed and we desperately needed coffee. Luckily, we found a cafe that had just opened and grabbed some lemon cake and coffee. The English market has been Cork's food hub since 1788. That's over 230 years of feeding people. It's called the English market because it was created by the Protestant corporation that ran the city back then to distinguish it from the Irish market. Today, it's known as the food capital of Ireland, and walking around, you can see why. As the market came to life around us, we wandered through stalls selling fresh meat, beautiful lemon curd, artisan cheeses, fresh poultry, handmade chocolates, basically everything delicious you can imagine. This is the perfect place to pick up some treats to take home, though obviously be mindful of what you can actually travel with. Queen Elizabeth II even visited here in 2011, so you know it's legit. If it's good enough for royalty, it's definitely good enough for us. We're here, and as we're walking up, oh my god, so cool. Look at this. As we walked up the hill toward the Rock of Cashel, there was a musician playing the harp outside, and the sound was absolutely beautiful as the rock itself came into view as we climbed higher. And wow, it's just breathtaking. This massive collection of medieval buildings perched on a limestone outcrop is one of Ireland's most iconic sites for a reason. We happened to arrive just as a guided tour was starting, and we jumped on it. We also paid an extra €3 to enter Cormac's chapel, and it was worth every cent. Cormac's chapel was built between 1127 and 1134 by King Cormac mac Carthay, and it's one of the finest examples of Romanesque architecture in Ireland. The entire chapel is made of sandstone, which had to be brought from miles away because the rest of the rock is built from local limestone. That golden sandstone makes it stand out beautifully. They only let a limited number of people inside at a time because the chapel is incredibly fragile. The ceiling and walls are covered with frescoes, painted murals, that are the only surviving Romanesque frescoes in all of Ireland. They've been painstakingly conserved over the years because the sandstone has been absorbing water for centuries, damaging the paintings. It's an absolutely critical part of Irish art history, and seeing these 900-year-old paintings in person was incredible. After the tour ended at Cormac's chapel, we wandered around on our own. There's a little theater showing the history of the site in different languages, and this beautiful wooden chapel area. Queen Elizabeth II actually visited here in May 2011, which they commemorate with displays. And then we finally entered the main cathedral ruins of the Rock of Cashel itself, and it's just stunning. Parts of the ceiling are still intact. The stonework is incredible. You can really see the craftsmanship of medieval builders. There's this fresco of Jesus Christ with a cross that you can still make out, though it's faded over time. The Rock of Cashel was the seat of the kings of Munster for centuries. Brian Bowe, one of Ireland's most famous high kings, was crowned here in 978. The site has been significant since at least the 4th century. Walking outside into the grounds, there's a cemetery with ancient gravestones, and then there's this massive high cross, Scully's Cross, that was actually destroyed by lightning in 1976. The views from up here are incredible too. You can see for miles across the Golden Vale some of the most fertile land in Ireland. Standing here, you understand why kings chose this spot. It's dramatic, defensible, and absolutely commanding. We stopped in the town of Cashel in search for lunch, and the owner of Bowe's and Company literally grabbed us off the street and brought us inside for lunch. It was kind of chilly that day, so we warmed up with tea and coffee. Alex had a barbecue sandwich that he said was just okay, but my pesto chicken sandwich? Delicious. Loved it. The fries were really good too. We finished off with Irish coffee because when in Ireland, right? As we were checking out, we noticed they had tons of pastries that looked delicious. So we went to the Rock of Cashel this morning and we got there right before a bunch of buses arrived. But whenever we got up to the top, of course, they had already unloaded. So it was a little busier than what we would have wanted. We got there about 10:45 probably. So had we got there even a half hour earlier, it would have been perfect. I believe it was €8 to get in. I bought the ticket online and it was an additional €3 a person to get into the chapel. We got there just in time for a tour, so that was really cool because she gave us a lot of information and she was funny. She was a great tour guide. As we drove up to it, it just appeared and it's already on a hill and it's just grand. It makes an impression. The weather here is probably the coldest it's been our whole trip, which isn't even that bad. We are on our way to Kilkenny and it's about an hour drive from the Rock of Cashel. We're supposed to get there right at 2 o'clock. So we're gonna park at our hotel, which is the Hibernian Hotel, I believe, which is really close to the Medieval Mile and catty corner to the Kilkenny Castle, which I am stoked to see. This is our last night here, probably our last sightseeing, our last everything. I'm just devastated that we have to leave, honestly. It's been such an incredible trip. There's so much more to see. There's so much more countryside. I sort of wish we would have seen the West Cork. We didn't get to do the Ring of Kerry, the Dingle Peninsula. I don't know, maybe one day we'll make it back, but for now, this is our last day and we're trying to make the best of it, but inside I am crying. Next stop, Kilkenny Castle. We'd bought our tickets online ahead of time, so we basically walked straight in. No queue, no waiting. Kilkenny Castle was originally built in 1195 by William Marshall, one of the most powerful Norman lords in Ireland. It started as a defensive fortress with 4 massive round towers guarding the crossing of the River Nore. The Butler family bought the castle in 1391, and they lived here for almost 600 years.
Shapes the room here. Now the tapestries which you see here, these really are the jewel in our collection here in Kilkenny. We often get asked, what's the most expensive thing to have in a castle? They're behind me here. They are original to the castle, so they're Flemish tapestries.
They were earls, marquises, and dukes of Ormond, and they shaped not just the castle, but the entire city of Kilkenny.
Entering into, when we think of the Victorian period, very heavily decorated with one of these rooms here. Now, we're standing in the anteroom.
In 1967, the last Marquis of Ormond sold the castle to the people of Kilkenny for £50. That's it. Since then, it's been restored and maintained as one of Ireland's most beautiful historic sites. Walking through the different rooms, you can see how luxurious life was for the Butler family. Everything is so well kept, beautifully decorated. There are portraits, tapestries, ornate furniture. Every room tells a story of wealth and power. And then we came to this absolutely stunning red and white staircase that leads up to the long gallery. And oh my gosh, the long gallery. This is the room everyone photographs, and for good reason. It's this massive space with soaring ceilings, dramatic red walls, and it's just grand in every sense of the word. The long gallery was redesigned in the 1850s, and the ceiling is absolutely incredible. It's a hammer beam roof structure with hand-painted designs by John Hungerford Pollen. The beams are carved with Celtic designs and painted animal heads, and the whole thing is supported on stone corbels carved by the O'Shea brothers from Kilkenny. The walls are lined with portraits and paintings. This wasn't just a castle, it was the center of power in this region for centuries. There's a little cafe inside that offers drinks and pastries that looked delicious, though we didn't get anything. And then we walked outside to see the castle from the gardens, and it's just as stunning from the outside as it is inside. Kyteler's Inn was one of the biggest things on my bucket list for Kilkenny. This place was established in 1324, making it one of the oldest inns in all of Ireland by Alice Kyteler, and here's where it gets wild. Alice was accused of witchcraft, which led to Ireland's very first witch trial. She was a wealthy woman who married 4 times, and with each marriage, she got richer. When her last husband died, his family accused her of using sorcery and poison to kill him. The accusations were insane, and she was sentenced to be burned at the stake. But Alice had connections with local gentry, and the night before her execution, she was spirited away to England and disappeared into history. Today, Kyteler's Inn has 4 different bars and a full restaurant. We had no idea when we walked in. The atmosphere was incredible. We went downstairs into what was closed off, but they let us explore, and it's like walking into a cave. The stone vaulted cellar with its medieval architecture is so cool. As we were leaving, we realized there's an entire outside courtyard where you can grab food. We were finally able to check into our hotel, the Kilkenny Hibernian Hotel, and I have to say, this hotel was phenomenal. The location alone is unbeatable. We could walk to pretty much everything we wanted to see in Kilkenny. The medieval mile is right there. Kilkenny Castle is literally just up the street. You couldn't ask for better. But beyond location, the hotel itself is just gorgeous. Beautifully decorated, incredibly comfortable, spotlessly clean. Every detail was thoughtful. Our room was so cozy and inviting. This was easily one of our favorite hotels of the trip. If you're staying in Kilkenny, I cannot recommend the Hibernian enough. Guess what I did? I got a tattoo. I had been wanting to add to my collection of stars every time we go travel, and I just hadn't. And so we were walking down the street and found a little place. They were able to take us in, and I just got something really, really small. So it's our last night in Ireland. So sad. Oh my God, we're not going back. No. It's been so amazing. We've loved this country. So we are gonna go grab some dinner. We got a recommendation from the tattoo artist. What did he say? Mac the Miller. And then go to a last pub and grab a last pint and maybe find some live music, hopefully. Oh, and we packed, actually. We had a ton of stuff we're taking extra, like souvenir-wise. So we actually fit it all in. So that was like a total win for us. This hotel, the River Court Hotel, has a beautiful view of the river and the castle. So like, I would stay there. All right, here it is. Let's see if it lives up to its name. I got a stew. Alex got
bangers and mash.
and beans.
And beans.
Just weird.
We can't wait.
Super. Having my last. This is my first one bottled and not in draft, so let's see the difference. Beans.
Big beans.
We're a little disappointed. Alex wanted like bangers and mash, and we thought we had seen that they had it, but they didn't. And she was sweet enough that she got him the kid size, but it was not at all what we were expecting. Check out the left bank for a pint, but it was absolutely packed, like not even a place to stand. So we decided to keep exploring. We ended up at the Castle Tavern, and we were so glad we did. We found seats at the bar. There was a local band playing traditional Irish music. It was exactly the quintessential Irish pub experience you dream about. We stayed for a bit, chatting with locals, listening to great trad music, soaking in the atmosphere. It was perfect.
Drinking our blues away.
We walked down the street to Scalini. They were technically closed, but the owners were so incredibly nice. They made us a pizza anyway. The pizza was incredible. I can't recommend Scalini enough. The kindness of the owners alone makes it worth visiting. We ended the night back at the Hibernian Hotel Bar. This trip has been absolutely incredible. Every single day has brought something new and amazing. Ireland has completely stolen my heart. Next video up will be a surprise ending home.
They said we got